What would you do if the person you loved most in the world suddenly vanished from your life? Would you fall apart? Or would you discover a strength you never knew existed? Today's story will shake you to your core and remind you what true love really means. Stay until the end because the twist will leave you speechless. And if this story touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible true stories that celebrate the power of human connection. Marcus stood in front of the closed casket, his entire body trembling. The funeral home smelled of lilies and polished wood, scents that would haunt him for years to come. His wife of 7 years, Elena, was gone. A car accident, they said. Quick and painless, they promised, but nothing about this moment felt quick, and the pain was suffocating. He couldn't remember the last words he had said to her. Was it goodbye that morning? Was it I love you? Or had he been too distracted by his phone, scrolling through work emails while she kissed his cheek and headed out the door? The guilt was crushing him from the inside out. Elena's mother sobbed quietly in the front row, her sister clutching her hand. Friends and family filled the chapel, their faces blurred through Marcus's tears. He felt like he was drowning in a room full of people. Unable to breathe, unable to think. His best friend Jake stood beside him, a steady hand on his shoulder, but even that comfort felt distant and hollow. The pastor spoke about Elena's kindness, her infectious laugh, her dedication to teaching underprivileged children. Marcus heard the words but couldn't process them. How could someone so alive, so vibrant, just cease to exist? Yesterday morning, she had been making pancakes in their kitchen, singing off-key to that old jazz song she loved. Yesterday she had been real and warm in his. After the service, people approached him with condolences that felt like knives. I'm so sorry for your loss. She was such a beautiful soul. If you need anything at all, the words meant nothing. They couldn't bring her back. They couldn't fill the Elena-shaped hole that had been torn through his chest. That night, alone in their apartment, Marcus wandered from room to room like a ghost. Her coffee mug still sat on the kitchen counter from 2 mornings ago. Her reading glasses rested on the nightstand beside a half-finished mystery novel. Her lavender perfume lingered in the bathroom. The apartment was full of her, yet completely empty. He collapsed on their bed, clutching her pillow, and wept until he had nothing left inside him. Then he just lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering how he was supposed to continue existing in a world without Elena. The days that followed were a blur. Marcus stopped going to work. He stopped answering calls. Jake brought him groceries that mostly went uneaten. His boss sent understanding messages about taking all the time he needed. But time wasn't what Marcus needed. He needed his wife back. He started talking to her. At first, just whispers in the dark, then full conversation. He would tell her about his day, ask her opinion on what to have for dinner, describe the sunset from their balcony. Part of him knew it was unhealthy, but it was the only thing that made him feel less alone. 2 weeks after the funeral, Marcus finally forced himself to sort through Elena's things. Her family had offered to help, but he needed to do this alone. He started with her closet, running his hands over her dresses, breathing in the scent of her clothes. Each item was a memory. The blue sundress she wore on their honeymoon, the blazer she bought for her first parent-teacher conference, the silly Halloween costume from last year when they dressed as ketchup and mustard. In the back of the closet, his hand bumped against something hard, a shoebox he had never noticed before. Marcus pulled it out and opened it, expecting to find old photos or letters. Instead, he found a smartphone, not Elena's regular phone, which had been destroyed in the accident, but a different one. A secret phone. His hands shook as he powered it on. The battery was nearly dead, but it had enough charge to reveal a single folder of videos. The first one was dated a month before her death. Marcus pressed play, and Elena's face filled the screen. She was sitting in her car, eyes red from crying. Marcus, if you're watching this, then something terrible has happened, and I need you to know the truth. I'm so sorry, my love. I'm so sorry. Marcus's heart hammered in his chest. What was she talking about? He watched, transfixed, as Elena wiped her tears and continued. For the past 6 months, I've been working with the FBI. Do you remember my student, little Maria Gonzalez? Her father isn't just a businessman like everyone thinks. He's involved with a dangerous cartel. And Maria accidentally told me things, showed me things she had seen at home. I couldn't ignore it. Children were being hurt, Marcus. Families were being destroyed. Marcus felt his world tilting sideways. Elena had been working with the FBI. She had never mentioned anything, never given him the slightest hint. I reported what I knew, and the agents asked me to gather more information. It wasn't supposed to be dangerous. I was just keeping my eyes open, documenting things Maria mentioned. But then things escalated. They found out there was an informant somewhere close to Gonzalez. If you're seeing this, it means they discovered it was me. It means I had to disappear, or they would come after you next. It means I had to die so you could live. The phone battery died and the screen went black. Marcus stared at it in shock, his mind racing. She faked her death. Elena faked her death. She was alive. Somewhere out there, his wife was breathing and walking and existing, and she had let him believe she was gone. The grief transformed into something else. Anger, betrayal. But underneath it all, a desperate, fragile hope. He plugged the phone into a charger with shaking hands and waited for it to power back on. There were 5 more videos, each one explaining more details. The FBI had helped her stage the accident. Her body in the casket had been fake. She was in witness protection now, somewhere far away under a new name. The last video destroyed him. Elena was crying openly, her face twisted with anguish. I know you must hate me right now. I know this is cruel beyond words. But Marcus, my beautiful, gentle Marcus, I couldn't let them hurt you. I couldn't risk your life. You have to understand, if they thought you knew anything, they would have tortured you to find me. This was the only way to keep you safe. She paused, struggling to continue through her tears. The agents told me I can never contact you again. This video is against protocol, but I don't care. I had to leave you something. I had to let you know that every moment we shared was real. That my love for you didn't die in that fake accident. It's here, with me, wherever I go. You'll move on eventually. You'll find someone new. Please, Marcus, please let yourself be happy again. Promise me you'll live a full life. That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted for you. The video ended. Marcus sat on the bedroom floor, the phone in his lap, and felt something break open inside him. She had loved him enough to die for him, loved him enough to endure her own funeral, to let him suffer, because she believed it would keep him safe. It was the most selfless and devastating act imaginable. But it wasn't over. The phone had one more file, a contact labeled simply, emergency only. Marcus stared at it for hours, debating. The FBI would be furious. Elena could be put in danger. But he couldn't live the rest of his life not knowing, not trying. With trembling fingers, he pressed call. It rang once, twice. Then a voice he thought he would never hear again whispered Marcus. Elena. The sound of her voice shattered him. He sobbed so hard he couldn't speak, clutching the phone like a lifeline. On the other end, she was crying too, repeating his name over and over like a prayer. You found the phone, she finally managed. Oh, God. I hoped you would, but I was so scared you wouldn't. They talked for 3 minutes before an FBI agent took the phone and told Marcus this could never happen again. But in those 3 minutes, everything changed. Elena told him she was safe, that she thought about him every single day, that she watched the sunset every evening and imagined he was watching it too. The agent, surprisingly sympathetic, told Marcus the truth. The cartel members had been arrested. The case was closed, but Elena couldn't come back yet. There were still smaller players out there, and the risk, while reduced, remained. Maybe in a year, maybe in 5, but not now. Marcus made a decision in that moment. He would wait. However long it took, he would wait, because their love wasn't measured in proximity. It wasn't measured in daily conversations or shared meals. It was measured in sacrifice, in the willingness to endure hell so the other person could survive. He started living again, not the same life as before, but a new one. He went back to work, reconnected with friends, started volunteering at the community center, where Elena used to teach. He lived the full life she had begged him to live, but every night, before bed, he looked at the stars and whispered, I love you, into the darkness, trusting somehow that she could feel it, wherever she was. 3 years later, Marcus was leaving the community center after teaching an art class to kids when he saw a woman standing by the fence. She had short red hair instead of long black, wore glasses she had never needed before, and had a different way of standing. But he would know her anywhere, would know her in complete darkness, in a crowd of thousands. Elena. They stood frozen, staring at each other across the parking lot. Then she smiled, that same brilliant smile that had made him fall in love with her a decade ago. And he ran. He ran faster than he had ever run in his life, and she ran too, and they crashed into each other with the force of 3 years of longing. She was really there, solid and warm and real in his arms. The FBI had cleared her to come home. The danger had finally passed. She was free, and she had come straight to him. Later, as they sat on a bench, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and pink, Elena took his hand. "You waited for me," she said softly. "After everything I put you through, you waited." Marcus kissed her forehead, breathing in the scent of her, still not quite believing this wasn't a dream. "You faked your death to save my life," he said. Waiting was the easy part. They rebuilt their life together slowly, carefully, treasuring every ordinary moment, every shared meal, every lazy Sunday morning, every mundane conversation about bills and weather felt like a miracle. They had learned what most people never fully understand, that love isn't just about the good times. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to endure, how you show up even when showing up is the hardest thing in the world. True love isn't tested in moments of joy. It's tested in moments of unbearable loss, impossible choices, and devastating separation. And when it survives those tests, when it emerges on the other side, scarred but unbroken, that's when you know it's real. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the incredible power of unconditional love, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message today, because in a world that can be harsh and uncertain, stories like Marcus and Elena's remind us that love, real love, can survive anything. Thank you for watching. And remember, the greatest love stories aren't about perfection. They're about perseverance.